All right, let's dive into something really fascinating. We're going to unpack a powerful parable that comes to us from the ancient Book of Enoch. It's this incredible story about celestial guardians, forbidden choices, and what happens when cosmic justice comes calling.
So here's how we're going to walk through this. We'll start with the perfect cosmic order. Then watch the moment it all goes wrong. We'll see the chaos that follows, the final judgment, and then, most importantly, we'll pull out the timeless lessons from this incredible story.
Okay, so to really get this story, we have to start at the very beginning. And we're not starting in a physical place, but in a state of perfect harmony and sacred duty, a celestial order, where everything and everyone had its purpose.
I want you to really picture this. We're not talking about your local library here. This is a living metaphor for the entire universe, a place holding all knowledge, all experience. And this incredible place was looked after by some very, very special guardians.
So, who are the key players in this cosmic library? Well, first, you've got the Librarians. These are the celestial beings known in the Book of Enoch as the Watchers. Their sacred job was simply to observe. And who were they observing? The readers, which is us, humanity. And running the whole show was the chief archivist, the ultimate authority who laid down the one unbreakable rule. And for ages, a really long time, everything was perfect. These guardians were called the wakeful ones for a reason. They were always vigilant. Their entire focus was on keeping order and protecting the readers in this cosmic library.
But you know how these stories go. That perfect order, it was fragile. And now we get to the turning point, the moment where one single decision is about to change absolutely everything.
And this is where it all starts to go wrong. You see, an incredible conflict started brewing inside these librarians, the Watchers. They had their sacred duty on one side, but on the other, they became totally captivated by the readers. A new, forbidden desire to connect with them, to actually be part of their story, began to clash with their vow of non-interference.
So what did they do? They made a choice, a huge one. They made a pact with each other to abandon their posts, to leave their proper dwelling and descend right into the world of humanity. And in doing so, they shattered the one fundamental rule they were sworn to uphold.
And let me tell you, that one single transgression, that broken vow, it had consequences that were immediate and honestly catastrophic. It didn't just bend the rules of the library, it unleashed a brand new chaotic force onto its shelves.
From these forbidden unions, these new beings emerged. You might know them as the Nephilim. In our parable, they're called the giant texts. But these weren't books filled with wisdom. Oh no. They were living, breathing volumes of pure chaos, embodying corruption and violence itself.
The impact was just chaos, pure and simple. These giant texts weren't just disruptive, they were destructive. And it's interesting, the source text says they were men of great reputation, but their fame came from violence and brute force. They literally consumed pure knowledge, spread darkness, and turned the once peaceful library into a place of total mayhem.
Now, all this chaos, all this profound violation of the rules, you just knew the chief archivist wasn't going to let it slide. The transgression was too severe. A reckoning was coming.
So, the big question is right, how do you even begin to judge a crime like this, a crime committed by your own celestial guardians? Well, the process described in the source material is pretty fascinating.
So the judgment didn't happen on earth. It took place in what the text calls the realm of divine accounting. You can think of it like a spiritual dimension, a kind of celestial courtroom, where the actions of even the most powerful beings get weighed and measured.
And the judgment from the chief archivist was swift, and it was absolute. It went down in a few clear steps. First, the prophet Enoch shows up to deliver the official charges. Then, the rebellious librarians are seized. Their library cards? Revoked forever. They're bound and exiled to the darkest, most forgotten corners of the archives. And finally, their chaotic offspring, the giant texts, are pulled from the shelves for good. Order had to be restored.
Okay, so that's the story. But what's the point? Why are we still talking about this ancient parable of a cosmic library today? Well, let's break down the key takeaways.
It really boils down to 4 huge lessons. They're all about the importance of duty, the insane ripple effects of our actions, the certainty of justice, and, this is a big one, the danger of sharing knowledge you're not supposed to.
First up is a powerful lesson about duty. Think about it. When the librarians did their job, there was order, there was light. The second they abandoned that sacred post for their own desires,
They didn't just cause their own downfall, they plunged the entire library into darkness.
And the second lesson is that acting on forbidden desires has consequences that ripple out way beyond yourself. The Watcher's choice didn't just hurt them. It unleashed suffering and violence on the whole world, corrupting the very place they were meant to protect.
And third, a huge theme here is the certainty of divine justice. The Chief Archivist's judgment is quick and it is severe. The story makes it crystal clear that accountability is an inescapable law of the cosmos. No one, not even a celestial guardian, is above the rules.
And that leaves us with this one final massive thought to chew on. If even these powerful celestial guardians are held accountable for abandoning their posts, what does that tell us about the nature of cosmic justice? It suggests that maybe order, duty, and accountability aren't just human ideas. Maybe they're fundamental laws woven right into the fabric of the universe itself.